Oh, hi, everyone. I'm gonna level with you. I'm sick. I'm sleepy. I just spent a couple hours trying to play the classic WoW relaunch, and I was dozing off the whole time. So this is me trying to keep myself up a little bit, so I don't wake up at 5 a.m. tomorrow. We got some reveals, and we actually had a couple reveals a couple days ago. I just wanted to wait until they all came out. So, or not they all came out, but until we had a good chunk of stuff to come out to talk about, because really nothing of substance really happened. Actually, my second attempt to record this video. Again, I am tired. This is my first couple weeks of having 2 jobs, and I want to fucking end my life. So, this is gonna be a good time. Anyway, we got some decent stuff. Nothing fantastic, nothing that's like gonna break the deck, you know. We didn't get anything that's gonna like compete with Colio as a grade 3 or anything, but you know, we got some neato stuff, some cute boys, and cute little bug boys. First one we're gonna talk about here is Strong Acid Mutant Guard Slug. When you guard with him, he gains 5k for each resting unit in your opponent's back row. I don't know why that is a thing. That is not, in my opinion, a really solid guard choice. It should have been the front row. It should have been, because we need something. We could gain a lot of value out of something that can screw over Excel decks, because that way we have a little bit of extra, you know, oomph with our attacks. Not to mention, I don't like cards that really encourage the reliance on your opponent's back row, because back row is the one thing that is not going to be reliably filled all the time. This card's only going to be useful a portion of the time, and I just feel like it's just not worth running for its purpose. You know, there are better options than this guy. So you could just run the 15k grade 1 that every Protect clan gets and have more of a guaranteed guard reliability out of it than this guy. So, I mean, he's cute. That's about it. He's a little slug. Slugs aren't insects, but whatever. They're not even like arthropods. Come on, Bushi. We then have Machining Lady Bomber. When play, Soul Blast 1, rest this unit, choose any number of, sorry, this is worded weird. Choose any number from among all of the rear guards and rest them. If your opponent has 3 or less rear guards, you countercharge 1. So if your opponent doesn't have 3 or less rear guards, then you're boned. So this is the opposite issue, where again, you're not gonna be reliably having 3 or less rear guards. Like, this should have been 3 or less standing rear guards. That's what it should have been, 3 or less standing rear guards, because that's how the old support would have been worded. If this guy came out pre-V era, this guy would have just said 3 or less standing rear guards. This is one of the only times that I ever wanted to backtrack to how things were before V era, because if that was the case, then this guy would go off. And it's just not reliable. This guy bricks and turns into a vanilla card if your opponent has a full field, and it's just not like super reliable. So, I mean, would I run this like maybe at like 3 or like a 2 of? That usually seems to be like an issue. I'll have like a 2 of I have to shove in there, and so maybe I'll run this, but like I'd rather just run like Spiteful Hopper or Lady Butterfly, because at least get more of like a reliable ability out of it, you know? This is one of the newer guys that was released today, and his skill isn't up on the wiki yet, so I gotta pull him off of Black Rose Drevlin's page. His name is Giant Salute Mutant Tower Horn. When placed, discard a card from your hand, draw a card. If your opponent has no standing units, this unit gets plus 5k to the end of the turn. I mean, it's hit or miss. It's a 13k booster. Really, you're not minusing yourself of anything. It kind of like, you know, get some excess shit out of your hand so you can draw on something better. I don't dislike it. I feel like if nothing better comes out, then like, yeah, he'd be like a 3 of again, or maybe even again in that 2 of spot that tends to pop up. He's not bad. He's just not great either. It's just this very filler grade 1 in this set that you probably won't really see a ton of use out of. This guy, however, is not the case, and you know what? I'm actually going to talk about him a bit later, because, you know, no, we'll go at him now, because he's not our double rare. Our double rare got revealed today, and this guy should have been the double rare, but he is not. He was slated. He was cheated out of the spot. He didn't deserve it. He should have been our double rare. Machining Centipede, Bushi. I understand insects are very confusing. Centipede, millipede, it's hard to tell the difference. You know, they're both invertebrates, I understand. This is not the invertebrate we wanted. We wanted stealth millipede. I like this guy, I appreciate him. But we want stealth millipede. Please, insert into set, please, need him now. Machining Centipede is a really good card though. He's actually probably one of the best things to get revealed since the Colio, like, you know, Cyclomatooth reveal chunk. His ability is Vanguard or Rearguard, counterblast 1. This is an act skill, by the way, too. Choose the same number of units as the number of your resting rearguards until the end of your opponent's next turn. Those units lose Twin Drive, Intercept, and Boost, and they cannot get them, sorry. And then you stand this unit. I love him. I love him to death. I think he's a fantastic card. I think he's probably one of the most solid things to come out in this set, except for obviously the main big boys. And he's a really, really, really good addition to machining. It actually really makes me question what the lineup in my machining deck is going to be, because so far, all of the machining grade 3s to have come out have been really, really solid. So I also want to stress that this loss of Twin Drive to the Vanguard does not mean they don't have a drive. It means they get a single drive. They just lose Twin Drive. So they still have the regular drive. So I don't want people to be arguing about this on CFA and saying like, oh, well, your Vanguard doesn't get a drive. Like, no. Loses Twin Drive. That's it. Until they say otherwise, this just loses Twin Drive. It's still an amazing card. This still essentially a watered, not even watered down, just a different idea on how machining Hercules works, or Spark Hercules works. Hercules is a massive decrease in power and a massive minus to your opponent. That carries over to the next turn. This kind of does the same thing where really it only carries over to the next turn and kind of works as like an early game disabler. The Vanguard obviously is not going to be as strong. This encourages re-rides and recalls, so it does encourage your opponent to minus themselves out of hand resources. The Intercept is neato because I mean that's always been neat. The loss of Intercept is always something that has been really solid, especially with Protect 2 being a thing. And a loss of Boost is fantastic because we have some really solid cards in Standard especially that go off and have really good abilities when they boost. So being able to do that and being able to essentially, in not really so many words, but in theory and in design, have like a workaround way of still like paralyzing the whole field and just shutting it down is really, really interesting. And the fact that this kind of works, the whole everything is rested teeth. I did say before that I didn't like that and I really didn't like how that worked, but so far I've actually been very impressed with how they've pulled this off so far, and especially with guys like this. Like, this is a really, really good unit that you want to see the most play out of. And again, he should have been the double rare. He is an amazing card. He really, really, really works well with everything that's in machining, and unfortunately we have one more guy left, and oh boy. This is one of the cooler looking cards in the set. It's... Bushiroad has got me looking at the glass half full, and so I fully sort of embrace and accept that this is probably just me being a big fanboy and trying to milk as much use, and maybe I'm in a bit of denial about this card, but so I don't think this guy is as bad as people are saying he is. I don't think he's good. I think he is, I don't know, intermediate. Prismatic Mutant, Stagger 7. This card. On rear guard, when it attacks a Vanguard, if all the units are at rest, counterblast 1. And I don't know, this is all of the units. I don't know if that's your units and theirs or theirs only. It doesn't really, I think it's all in general, but when it attacks a Vanguard, if all units are at rest, counterblast 1 to the end of battle. This unit gets 20k power. Then, Soul Blast 2 grade 3s. Your opponent chooses a card from his or her hand, discards it, and he or she can only call cards with the discarded grade from hand. Oh, damn. I don't really know where to begin with this guy. It is super situational. If you are going to run this guy, if you're going to give him any shred of a chance in your decks, he is a one of at most. Maybe I'll eat those words eventually. Maybe somebody will find an amazing combo with him, but as of right now, that Soul Blast 2 grade 3 cost is awful. That is so damn heavy and so gross with how much that hinders your plays. I mean, Colio, his best ability makes you Soul Blast to grade 3, so already that's out the window. I mean, if Colio didn't do that, then like, yeah, this guy would be amazing in the deck. I think he'd be pretty solid. So I'll tell you what they're gonna, I'm not gonna tell you really like if he's good or bad, because I don't really think I think he's pretty much just, this is definitely one of those cards where like it remains to be seen how much use comes out of him, because it could really go either way and I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm gonna explain to you what the idea behind him is, and I'll let you decide for yourself. But essentially, this guy is obviously, he's your very last attack. You swung with your Vanguard, you've thrown triggers onto him, you've thrown the power onto him. What this guy is he is a workaround sort of alternative to the your opponent has to guard with 2 or more units per guard ability. By that, I mean your opponent at this point in the game has, well, you know, not like a very high hand count. I mean, they could, if they do, this guy's not going to go off very well, but we'll say your opponent has like a 7 or 8 card hand. You are essentially making them choose what cards they have to guard with, because again, this is the very end of that turn. Their hand is gonna be a lot lower. The resources are gonna be chewed through. They maybe have used their perfect guards on your Vanguard attack, inevitably, especially because Colio is swinging with 3 and possibly 4 drive checks. It's ridiculous. So this combos with Colio, but it also, they already have limited resources by the time he is attacking. They have to further limit that, choose what exactly they're going to use, and then minus that further to use it. So, you know, obviously, like, they have this perfect guard in their hand. They have to have another grade 0 to discard to use it. That Soul Blast 2 grade 3 cost is abysmal. That's awful. That could be Soul Blast 3. And it would still be way more solid because of that, but Soul Blast 2 grade 3 is not great. I mean, honestly, like, you'd have to skip it on using Colio for him, and I mean, I'm not saying it's not like a decent trade-off, I guess, but you'd have to ride 3 grade 3s. I mean, you do Soul Charge. I will say you do Soul Charge. You have things like Brownie Jerk that help you Soul Charge. And Machining, this obviously is a bit more usable because you have things rotating in and out of the soul. I've already wasted too much time talking about this card because I really shouldn't be. There are way better alternatives. I will say, when I start building my updated versions of the 2 decks that are coming out, obviously with, you know, Machining and then Colio, I'm going to try him out at 1 in each of the builds just to get a feel for how good he is. Essentially, I mean, he can be like a really solid limiter. With Phantom Black, he can go really well. This is kind of like again, like an alternative, maybe even version with like Antlion, but even Antlion has a lesser cost. This is just taking the same like ridiculous sacrifice and kind of just funneling it in a different direction, and not necessarily like a really good one. But this guy remains to be seen. And again, you know, being a big fan of Mega Colony, maybe I'm just looking at the glass half full, and you know, my rose tinted glasses, he looks pretty. He looks pretty. That's cool. He's got tons of personality. Damn, this did not need to be our double rare. Like, come on, guy. Come on, Bushi. Yeah, but that's it. That's all of our reveals for right now. We have a triple rare that's still in this set, and I feel like they're gonna be something in the grade 2-ish area. I'm hoping for a Magatsu Gale situation where it's a grade 3 or 2 that's really solid. So give us a grade 2 that's like on par with or better than Bloody Hercules, in that sort of the same vein of like it being like a resource rebuilder, and I'll be pretty happy. So we'll see. Till next time, folks. Bye.